back of the island, and I was down there earlier actually. Big crowds down there. It really is fantastic. There's all this dead still quiet. The flag drops, and then it's all unleashed, all that power. And to watch a couple of eights go off is just brilliant. And they really are charging down the back of the island. The rate pretty high, and then some point towards the top of the island they will settle down into their race pace. And it's Edinburgh on the left of your screen, Bristol University B, and they're getting mighty close in the middle there. You watch those blades. There's been a clash. There's been a couple of clashes. Edinburgh continued to paddle on. Bristol don't. We don't have a shot of the umpire, so we can only assume that the race carries on. It's always difficult to predict and dangerous to predict what the man with the flags will do. But presumably,
very dangerous game.
He's.
I think Edinburgh were leading that.
He's had a good look at that. Yeah, and it happened in neutral water, so it's all guessing and double guessing. However, it's Edinburgh that plough on, and despite that clash, you know, there's not a huge difference here. They pretty much stopped, didn't they, Bristol?
Well, I think through their own faults, to be totally honest. They were right over in Edinburgh's water. But it looks like about a length, 2 lengths maybe at a push. Length and 3/4 if I'm being generous. But I think in an 8, that's a difficult margin to overcome. Especially on the Henley Women's Regatta course. 2 crews, once you get the psychological advantage of clear water.
Yeah, it's always a dangerous game, that, because, you know, there's a fair chance you'll come off second best.
Yep.
And once the blades start doing that interknitting thing, you see it a lot in the boat race over the years. You see it an awful lot to try and nick the better water. But I must say I don't think it's particularly relevant here on a straight track. If you're trying to get a bend, maybe, but to try and, you know, go into dangerous water, that neutral territory in the middle. However, the race continues. Intermediate academic 8s, Edinburgh University, the right of your screen, and just at the bottom of your screen there, coming into picture, that's Bristol University. B crew, they drew the Berkshire station, went off the start, very, very aggressive from both crews. A clash of blades resulted in the Bristol crew pretty much stopping and Edinburgh taking advantage, moving on, and they're now moving well down the course. I think Tom's going to have a look at a few results for us in a second. We've got the next event coming up are the senior quadruple sculls, senior quads. Newcastle up against Brooks, Headington University of London, Surrey Tideway Scullers, and Edinburgh University Kingston. At the start there we go with the first of these, the quarterfinals, senior quadruple sculls, Newcastle and Brooks. Newcastle in the blue on the left, Brooks in the red over on the right, and again steering comes into it. These are coxless boats. Brooks sticking true to their course, and with that bit of steering, I think Newcastle halfway down the island find themselves a length down. Well, I suppose it's a tactic to go off the start and really try and attack the middle of the river, but that hasn't really paid off for Newcastle. There at the top of the island now, they're a length down. There's clear water, and Brooks are moving away, as you can see from our overhead shot.
In emphatic fashion, it has to be said.
Yeah, I mean, that, gee whiz, they are putting some distance between the back.
The rudder had minimal effect on the outcome of this race.
Look at that. That's
and look at their line.
Very, very powerful. Now, the only thing that would possibly help the trailing crew here is if they were to steer a bit closer to those booms, but
I don't see it happening.
senior quads, they're experienced, aren't they?
Very much so. And that Brooks crew, you've got to look at them and you think the attitude and the power and the experience in that boat, they're not going to be making a mistake. Not on a stage like this, not the Henley Women's Regatta. And as they move down the course, there on the left-hand side of your picture, you can see, if you're watching at home, just how much distance they put into Newcastle. And actually, Brooks and Newcastle is perhaps the archetypal clash of the titans in student rowing over the last 4 years, and it's almost been reduced to a row over here for Brooks. They are completely dominant in this event, and actually it begs the question, Martin, should a crew like that be in elite quads?
Well, that is a big distance, and we're only a third of the way down the race. I mean, they could completely smash them if they want. However, they've got to go through to tomorrow, but yeah, it does beg the question there. Anyway, we just commentate on what we see, and what we see there is a particularly fine quad. Stroke perfect. There they go. Results, Thomas?
Yeah, why not? We'll start with the Junior 16 quads. Race 185 was a win for the Isle of Ely Rowing Club by 2.5 lengths. Race 186, the winner was Maidenhead Rowing Club, the verdict easily. The winner of race 187, still Junior 16 quads, was Henley Rowing Club A by 2 lengths over the Scullers School. And race 188, the last of the 4 Junior 16 quarterfinals, was a win for Surbiton High School. And in the Academic 8s, Newcastle University and Bristol University, the winners of the first 2 races by 3.5 and 2.5 lengths respectively. Oxford Brooks race 191 over Durham University by 2 lengths, and Edinburgh University won race 192 by 3.5 lengths.
Headington University of London. Headington in the blue.